Hi, and welcome to Simply Fresh Food. Today we're going to make an old classic. We're going to make shrimp scampi. Everybody loves shrimp. And then we're going to make haricots verts. They're really just French green beans, but we're going to add a little twist to it by adding some celery, and we're going to add some onions to it. I think you're going to love it. And then of course we'll finish it off with our toast Parmesan cheese on top to go with it. Let's get started. All right, now I'm going to start the linguine because we're going to need our few minutes for it to go ahead and cook. And you could use chicken stock, you could use water and salt it to cook your pasta in. Because I'm making shrimp scampi, I actually made some seafood stock this morning, so that's what I'm going to use. So we've got our flame on, and I'm going to actually add my seafood stock. And I'll tell you this, when you are peeling your shrimp, what you do is save the shells. Don't throw them away. I am a believer in using, reusing, recycling, reworking everything so that nothing gets wasted. And what you do is you just put your shells in a pot with some water, and then you add other things to it. Like if you're chopping up an onion, which you're not going to use that bottom part of it, just throw that in the pot. Have some garlic, smash it, throw it in. Have some parsley, stems left over. Parsley stems are great for using and making stocks. So you throw that in the pot, and then you add any other spices or herbs you want in there. And you just boil it, bring it to a boil, turn it on low, let it simmer, and leave it there for a while, maybe an hour or two. It all depends on how potent you want that stock to be. So we've got our water going, and while we're waiting on that, since we are going to be making shrimp scampi, I'm going to show you exactly how, with this beautiful plate of shrimp that we have. And I tell you, you know what I like? I want to thank our sponsor over at Costco because these shrimp came from them, and I like that they let you pick them. So I've picked the shrimp here, and these are peeled, but I left two just so I can show you for when you're buying shrimp someplace. What you want to make sure is that you cut here along the back of the shrimp. That's how we devein a shrimp. And you'll find these have already been deveined, but what you'll find is there's this little gray, little black line that runs down that back. Well, we don't want to eat that. No one wants to eat that. So you want to make sure that you slice down there and you take that part out. Also, we're going to go ahead and take the shells off. Remember I was telling you about the seafood stock? These are the shells I'm talking about. So we're just going to pull that off and add that back onto the plate. Remember, I'm not going to throw this away. I don't throw anything away. All right, so we have that there. And we've got one more to do for you. This is great. These are really nice sized shrimp. So they're going to feed quite a hungry bunch there. So we've got our shrimp ready. Let me wash my hands. Excellent. Now, one thing I also like to do for my pasta is I like to add color and flavor. So I've already got the seafood stock, which is going to give it flavor. But here I have some turmeric. You can use curry if you'd like. It'll give it a nice color, a nice yellow, deep yellow color. Or you can use turmeric. If you're using curry, just be careful because curry has its own very strong taste. Turmeric has its own taste too, but it's a little lighter and milder. So I'm going to add that turmeric in there. And again, that's really just for color. It's not for the flavor. There's not enough turmeric in there to overpower the seafood stock. Now, what we are going to do next is I'm going to pull out our haricots verts, our green beans. Here is the difference. It's very thin. It's very skinny. very nice to eat, and I like to leave them long. Now, when we blanch them in the boiling water and shock them in the ice cold water, they're going to have this beautiful, vibrant green. We're also going to cook it with the celery here. And what I've done is, and there's a string on the celery, there we go, is I've cut them to be about the length of the haricot vert, and it's a nice contrasting color because the oil is going to make the celery color just pop out even more. So you're going to have nice contrasting colors going on there. And we're going to add these in there. They've already been washed, and most of them are already prepared and cut at stores, but sometimes you may want to just clip off that end where it's come right off the vine. I know I do at home when we have them in our garden. So I've added them there. And I'm actually going to move them around a bit. And you can see that they quickly change color. All right, so we're going to go ahead and let those maybe for about, I'm going to say maybe about 3 to 4 minutes, because you're not trying to cook them thoroughly. You're just going to pre-cook them. Now, I actually hear this boiling, so we're going to add our linguine. All right. And there's not too many people coming over for dinner this evening, so I'm not going to use a whole lot of linguine, but we're going to add just enough. And you see that's at a roaring boil. I'm actually going to turn it down just a bit. Now I'm going to take the ice and I'm going to add some water to it because we're actually going to shock them, remember? Now I don't have to have this much ice, but you know, because it's hot here in the studio and the lights, I have some extra ice in there just in case it started, you know, to melt. So we want to make sure that that's good. I'm going to check on these. And I think we are actually ready there. I'm going to use the tongs. I'm going to push the shrimp up just for a moment. And those have been in the refrigerator for quite a while. So they're all right. We're not getting in any danger zone of having that seafood out. All right. So we are actually now going to take these out. All right. And look at how beautiful. I'm going to put that right up onto the block so you can see it as soon as I get them all out. And I tell you, you know, there's nothing that smells better than fresh produce. I tell you. All right, so we have those out. Now, I'm going to actually leave them in the water for a bit, and you see they start to melt the ice in there, and that's quite all right. It's not going to do anything or take away from anything. It just halted the cooking, which is exactly what I want. Now, we're going to take a little break, and when you come back, I'm actually going to have the haricot vert in a strainer that'll be waiting for us, or at least off of the water, and I'll be checking on that linguine, seeing if I can pull that out too. Then we can get started on the main attraction. All right, I'll see you in just a few. Simply Fresh Foods. The name Simply Fresh Foods, let's see. Well, it actually came from, it encompasses, I should say, that I want the dishes to be simple. Simple enough for you to prepare in your own kitchen. Fresh, because I want you to start with the best ingredients. I want you to start with fresh so you can maintain the most nutrients and vitamins and minerals from the foods. And so we just brought it all together, you know, simple, fresh, and that it's food. So I suppose it could have been Simple Fresh Foods, but we kind of like Simply Fresh Foods so that you know that's all it is. Welcome back to Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee. While we were on break, I actually have removed the haricot vert, or the green beans, from the iced water, which is where we shock them. So now we're just going to sit them to the side. We're going to allow the rest of any water that may be there to evaporate as much as it possibly can before we saute them. All right, and we have our shrimp because that's what we're going to work on next. That's the star of the show. All right, and I'm looking over, and our linguine is actually very good. All right, and we're going to scoop. And look at that beautiful color. And you know, remember I added the turmeric because I wanted a beautiful golden color for my pasta. You have to try that sometimes. So let's get it all out. Now, I think I'm going to move it over here. All right. And I love my pasta. Is that a spoon or a fork or a spork? You know what? Let's see. It works. So we're just going to get this all out. I don't want to leave any in there. And I'll tell you, this smells absolutely delicious. And we haven't even added anything to it. So there. Now, if you're concerned about the pasta sticking while you're waiting, don't. This is how you get around that. You simply add a little oil. That's it. It's not going to hurt anything. And what you don't need, it actually will drain into the bottom of the bowl. So I'm going to get that oil mixed all up in the pasta. As my sister would say, get it all up in there. So there we go with that one. All right, so I'm going to sit that over on the side. Remember I said we're going to add garlic? Let's move this. We're going to add garlic. I have some garlic right here. And really, you could use, I'm going to say maybe about 4 or 5 cloves. It's totally up to you. All right, here we go. I don't have my little cheat garlic thing. And I am going to hit it to show you how we actually do it when we're in the restaurant or when I'm at home. I actually take it and go, pow. There we go. Here's one. Pow. Look at there. And it came off all by itself. Pow. There we go. So I have some nice sized cloves here. So, and then too, I absolutely love garlic. So instead of standing there trying to peel, just give it a whack. You know, think of something that, you know, maybe annoyed you before and just give it a whack. And I'll tell you that skin will jump right off. Okay, so we're ready here. Now, I'm just going to finely chop it. There's no specific way or rule. All right, let's see. We're almost there. And you want to chop it enough that no one bites into a large piece of garlic. Let's see. We're going to turn that down. Don't want my garlic to, or my oil to overcook there when I put it on. So I turn the oil down. All right, we're just going to chop, chop, chop. And I absolutely love garlic. As my son says, Mom, what don't you love? You know, and I thought about it, and I don't love spiders. I appreciate and respect them, but I don't love them. So there was something I didn't love. But I knew what he was talking about. He was talking about with regards to food. You know, I love food. You heard that joke? What kind of food do you love? And I say I love seafood because all the food I see I love. Yeah, that would be true with me. Okay, I think we've got the garlic just about right. Now, what I'm going to do, and what I didn't add to the pot that I'm going to add before I add the garlic and the onions is, let me just rinse my hands there. I'm going to add my 6 tablespoons of butter. And you say, that's a lot of butter. Well, I'm not going to disagree with you. It is. But Once you taste it, it's going to be well worth it. And you know, I tried this actual recipe with clarified butter because you know I love my liquid gold. That's what I call my clarified butter. And I found that, well, while it was very, very delicious, I still wanted, you know, the original unsalted coal to go. So I'm allowing that to go ahead and melt. Let's move this. And I'm actually going to need some lemon juice. All right. Now, I'm going to just use the juice of 2 lemons because I actually have some lemon zest here. And I tell you, the lemon is going to be really strong in the dish, so you want to cut back on the lemon and not use too much. And another thing is I'm actually going to have thin lemon slices in the dish. So here, I'm going to add some onions. See that popping? Uh-oh. It requires finger action. There we go. And let's move this. And I'm going to add my garlic. And if you want to add more garlic or more onion, feel free. It's whatever tickles your fancy. There we go. Now, while that's going, oh, and that just smells so good. While that's going, I'm going to go ahead and start with my lemon. You know what? I don't need that one. I'm going to pull this out, and I'm just going to roll the lemon so I can soften it so that the juice is loose. I like that. The juice is loose. All right. Because we are going to add it to the pot. And I like this little gadget because it catches all the seed and all the pulp, and it actually gets out everything I want out. See, there we go. Now I'm looking over there. Let's add our shrimp. This smells so good, I tell you. Already, I can't wait. Now, if you want, you could throw that rosemary sprig in there and toss it around and then just trash it. But I'm just going to get rid of it because I've already got some flavors going on that I like in there. So we're going to cook the shrimp in there no more than 3 minutes before we add the other stuff. As you can see, color changes very quickly in there. Now, once I flip them over, I'm going to go ahead and add all the other ingredients. And I'll call them out so you'll know what they are. And if you check the website next month, that's right, Simply Fresh Foods, coming to the web, you will get the recipe in its entirety. So I'm going to dump in my parsley here. That's fresh chopped parsley. I'm going to dump in my pepper. That's fresh ground black pepper. This is 1/8 of a teaspoon, and trust me, that's all you're going to need for this dish of red pepper flakes. All right, I'm not going to do the lemon till the end. I'm going to add my lemon juice in just a moment. All right. And that's going beautifully. I'm going to stir in just a sec. All right, and see, this is a lot of lemon juice. These were pretty large lemons. And I'm going to stir right now. Oh my, they are just beautiful. They smell delicious. Oh man, woo! You are going to be the star if you make this dish for your friends. All right. So we're going to just add a little bit of the lemon juice. We're not going to add all of it, just a little bit. Because remember, we don't want it too lemony. And I do have lemon slices that I'll add at a later point. Let me stir that. And really, this is actually ready for the linguine. So we're going to take the linguine and see what I told you about the oil. Just a little went a long way. We're going to add that. We are going to turn off the burner because we don't need that. We are almost there. We're past the halfway mark. Yum. All right. This is actually just beautiful. You see how the orange, bright orange shrimp, the beautiful green parsley, and look at that. And that yellow golden linguine. Everything just stands out to you and for you. What I'm going to do right here in this pot, going to add a little oil. I'm going to add the onions. And what I want is I want the onions to brown. And someone asked me once when they were visiting and having dinner, and I had made the haricot vert and the celery. And they asked me, well, why'd you put that? I've never heard of that. But I actually love the flavor of celery, and I actually think it goes well with lots of things. Most of the time, it's either, maybe the flavor might be lost in stews and different things like that, but here we're going to get the full flavor of it. While we're waiting, let's get out our bread. You can't have scampi without French baguette, right? All right, so that seems to be going very nicely. I want to kind of keep an eye on them just to make sure that we don't burn them, since I'm not using a saute pan. But what I have here is some fresh grated Parmesan, and then I have Parmesan here because I like the little strips when, for presentation. And I have some olive oil here as well. So I'm gonna find, let's see, gonna spread just a little bit of this butter on a piece of the baguette. All right, and another one. It smells so good over there, I'm telling you. Fighting myself not to go over there. We're gonna put that down. Now, and the oil is just in case you want to drizzle a little bit, but I think I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then I'll grill it on the pan. That's going nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and put our shrimp scampi over on the side so that I can get started on the bread so that we can have everything plated when we are ready. Our onions are getting there. I saw some brown around the edges, which is perfectly fine. What I'm going to do while that's still going is I'm going to go ahead and add the celery to it. Going to give the celery a little longer than the haricot vert because remember they had a head start because we blanch and shock them. So I'm going to let that go for a bit. That's getting pretty warm, which is great. I'm going to go ahead and lay our bread on there. And I like to press down on it a little because I like to get the grill marks on there. So as soon as it's hot enough, we'll have that. So what I can start doing is I can actually get us ready for plating. Yum! All right, so we've got that going. Now I'm going to go ahead and add back in the haricot vert. I'm probably going to pump up the volume here on the flame. The reason I'm going to do that is because I want it to go ahead and maybe get a little charring on it. There's my sizzle. You know I love sizzle. Let me check on the bread. I don't have my colors yet, but I'm patient. I can wait. So we have that going. I'm going to get this, well, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to go ahead and add the salt. And this is kosher salt, so it's not overbearing, remember, like the iodized salt. So it's okay to pinch a little extra there. And let's see, we've already used this. I'm going to get my plate out. I'm going to get us nice and ready for service. Let's clean this up. I hear my haricot vert. And I thought this was a beautiful plate for serving. Isn't that just gorgeous? Makes me think of the fall. Let's check our bread. Now, if you want, you can actually make the baguettes in the oven. But again, like I said, and they'll toast very nicely. You can use a flat bottom pan. You don't have to use a grill pan. And I'm checking on my haricot vert and my celery. Nice. They are looking really nice. Going to keep them going just for a little bit longer. I'm going to use this. Oh, great. I'm actually getting my color. That's what I want. Let's move this. And I'm going to put this over to the side. Let's get my grater for my bread. And I think we are going to be set. Are you excited? Because I am. Okay, this is good for me. Look at that. That is perfect for me. All right. And what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to sprinkle a little fresh grated Parmesan. And then I'm going to grate some because I love the long strands. There we are. I'm going to leave it in case I want to put some on there, some on the pasta. These are sounding just beautiful. And they look beautiful. Look at that. I think we are ready. I like to take one out and wiggle. Make sure. I'm going to taste it too. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Just the way I like it. It's tender, but it still has that, a little of the firmness to it so that you know what you're eating. It's flavorful. I might sprinkle a little bit more of the salt. Definitely a winner. And you know, our bodies tell us what we want or what it needs and requires. And the closer the food is to its natural state, that's actually when you're getting most of your nutrients and the vitamins. So you tend to eat less because your body is satisfied that it has received what it's looking for. So we can all work together, and we actually can help to end hunger right here in our state of Connecticut and even across the world. That's why you hear the push for healthy eating. Yes, it's healthy because the items are fresher and in, like I say, they're closest to their natural state, but it's healthy for you to eat, and it's healthy for your children, your families. You live longer, you can do more things, and I'm all about doing that. So let's go ahead and plate this because I don't think I can wait any longer. Look at this. Is that not gorgeous? Yum. We're going to put some right here in the center. All right, look at that. Oh, and it smells just delicious. You know, you can just eat the pasta and leave the shrimp out if you want. No go? Okay. Here we are. Look at that. Oh, that just is so gorgeous. And remember what I told you about the contrasting colors? Look at that celery. Isn't that just beautiful? Yeah. And you have to check really closely to be sure that you're not eating celery or that you are eating haricot vert. I do like that. And now what I'm going to dig in here for is because those caramelized onions, I know I got some already on there, but I actually just love them. Here we go. There we are. There we go. So, look at that. Today, this is what we've made, and I'm actually just going to, not too much. I don't want too much in there. And I'm actually going to take a little bit of the lemon zest, not a lot. Because remember, we have lemon juice in there. And I'm going to take a little slice of a lemon, and we're going to lie it there this way. And for one last visual appeal, we're going to add this. I'm going to garnish it with parsley so that you know that that ingredient in there that's green is parsley. Who wouldn't want to eat that? This is just fabulous. Okay. So what we've made today is we've actually made shrimp scampi, and we actually brightened up our linguine. We've made our haricot vert, our French beans. We've added onions to it, and we've also added celery, some fresh celery. And I want to thank those people over at Geisler's for all of the fresh ingredients, as well as Costco. And we've also toasted French baguette, and we put some fresh grated Parmesan on there, and shredded Parmesan. And today, I have actually paired it with what else? A beer. Yay me. I want to thank you for joining us today at Simply Fresh Food. And remember, you can check us out on our website at Simply Fresh Foods. You can also check us out at wintv.org or come right on back Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Thanks for joining.